What is up, everybody? Cribster98 here. Welcome back to a brand spanking new video. This is the first time I've actually, in a long time, have actually made a video about anything. I know I'm really not that consistent over here on YouTube, but if you go over to my TikTok, link's probably down in the bio or description if I remember. I talk about God on there all the time. So if you guys are interested in some Christian content, definitely go over there. And yeah, let's get started. So I'm going to go ahead and start off this video by saying I'm not perfect by any means necessary. Like, I'm not perfect, at least not on my own. And anybody in my life that has known me personally in any way knows that... Oh crap, hold on. Knows that I'm not perfect. I'm not 100% sinless. But that's what the gospel is that through Christ we are made sinless. Give me 1 second. I'm checking out my TikToks. Because I mentioned it and I'm like, okay, now I gotta check it out real quick. Anyways. So, what am I doing in this video today? Why did I just kind of like come on here and just start talking? Well, it's because I want to talk about some atheist questions I kind of want to answer, and some things I just want to say. First off, you contradict yourself sometimes. Atheists contradicts themselves sometimes, and it's kind of frustrating. But I understand not all atheists agree with the same exact points, just as much as Christianity doesn't agree with the same exact points on all things. With that being said, that is some of the reasons why atheists say that they aren't Christians, is because Christianity has a hard time, agreeing with one thing, agreeing with the same exact theology, I guess. Well, apply that logic to atheism. No, I kind of see why they're saying that, because we're one religion, we have the same book, we should be coming to the same exact conclusions. It's just that sometimes we don't. And yeah, and there is a way to test through the Bible whether or not people are true teachers, true gospel teachers or not, even if we disagree on almost everything else. And that is the way that they treat each other with like respect and love and caring, kindness and all this stuff like that. That's the mark of a true Christian. Everybody else kind of just doesn't really want to do with anybody, just kind of preaches nonsense. Those are false teachers. One example of this, I can't remember exactly his name, but he's basically saying that homosexuals cannot be saved at all, but that's simply not the truth. That's probably an example of people that are homophobic, truly homophobic, and are Christians. Just because, like I said, or I say this all the time, but just because we are against a particular thing doesn't mean we hate. We're against murder, and we are against stealing, we are against lying, but we don't hate those people. I know that's still a controversial statement. Like, what, you don't hate murderers? Not in the world's way of hate, no. Every time there comes to be a statement that needs to be made by atheists, usually they start off by saying it as a matter of factly. They say it matter of factly, if I'm using that term correctly. They say, well, evolution has been proven to be true. Evolution is 100% true. It's scientifically proven. No, it's not. There's no evidence besides extinction that really proves evolution, at least to my knowledge. But evolution is seriously just a theory. It's just a theory made up by somebody that doesn't even believe in it. Yeah. Sorry, I have a dry throat right now. I don't know why. It's a little bit hot in here. I have a fire going in the wood stove. But yeah, evolution a lot of times is disproven by Darwin himself. In his journal, he wrote something about if you finding a specific, what was it? trying to think of it. It's in the book, like right here in front of me. I just don't really feel like digging it out right now. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up. I think it's types of machinery, like DNA type machinery. Frick. DNA type stuff. Oh gosh, this is why I hate recording right here. Hold on. A lot of Christians like to quote this, and honestly, I don't care that much about evolution. I did like I actually learned about it in high school, but I didn't really care for remembering it or anything like that. Not because you know, I'm a science denier or anything like that. It just never made sense to me, so I never wanted to learn it. By the way, I'm looking out of this book right here for the answers for right now. I can't find it, but it basically talks about, oh yeah, right here. Yeah, it's talking about if there was like some complicated DNA type stuff in our body, then you know the theory of evolution falls apart. Or at least Darwin's evolution of theory falls apart. I understand that there's more people that talk about evolution. So yeah, he doesn't believe in it, according to his journals, where he said that if there's like complicated machinery type stuff in the body, down into the body, then his theory falls apart. And I think it's safe to say that yeah, there is a lot of stuff that makes his theory fall apart. But yeah, everybody like atheists will say that these things are factual, backed up by science, but no, they're just theories. The Big Bang is just a theory. It's the Big Bang theory, the theory of evolution. And many times they'll go, well, gravity is just a theory, but gravity can be tested. All you got to do is just drop something, and there you go, you got gravity. Go into space, then drop something. There you go, you got zero gravity, because that's just how gravity works. That's what gravity is. Even though we can't see it, we know it's there. And you have so yeah, that's what they always say. That's what a lot of atheists say, is that, oh hey, just because there's gravity, it was a theory. It's a theory, but you know what? So was the wind. So was the wind until a point that we could prove it. We could prove the wind exists. Just watch whenever it starts blowing. Listen, you can see the effects of the wind, but you can't see the wind itself. You can see the effects of gravity, but you can't see gravity itself. You cannot see any effects of evolution or the Big Bang. And either way, I don't think that just because these are evolutions or these are theories or anything like that, the theory of evolution, I don't think we should be relying on that too much, because, well, there's really nothing that looking into the past is going to do to help us besides learning from mistakes. Other than that, there's no way that you can look back in the past and learn something about the future. In regards to species, it benefited me by no means knowing that dinosaurs existed, whether or not they do exist, but now it really does kind of benefit with helping prove that the Bible exists, that the Bible is raw. But like it really didn't benefit me by any means by digging up bones and seeing, yeah, oh hey, there's a dinosaur. That benefits us in no way for now, like medically wise. That's what I'm trying to get at, is that there's no medical way possible that can back up evolution. You know how we know that we can test things on rats is because their genetic makeup is similar to ours, and we did not need to look at the past to see that now. We were able to just look at rats, see that we function similarly to rats and monkeys and whatnot, and are able to make those tests without looking at evolution. So evolution doesn't really even matter. The only thing that evolution is there for is just to give atheists a foothold when trying to disprove God. But there's no evidence for evolution whatsoever, like I said, besides fossils, which an extinction, which really doesn't prove anything. It just, hey, species went extinct. Big deal. It happens. Um, if I were to have a planet full of mice and then a planet full of cats, eventually the cats are going to kill all the mice. It's just how that crap works, all right? It's not rocket science. That you really didn't prove anything just by saying, oh yeah, well look at this. And in fact, if you want to disprove evolution, one animal that evolution has a hard time explaining is the platypus. So way to go, Perry. You kind of helped us out there. But yeah, like the scientists can't find anything that backs up the platypus. And in fact, if you really want to disprove evolution, just look outside. Look how everything is so connected together. It cannot have happened by accident. The trees need us, and we need the trees. Bees need us, and we need the bees. Bees need trees, and bees need plants. Bees need pretty much everybody. But how did the bees grow? How did the bees come to continue to live without us? You know what I'm saying? And even according to evolution, everything written in the biblical account of creation in Genesis chapter 1, if you look in the order of things created, it's the same thing with evolution and the Big Bang if you just put the pieces together. So to me, it looks like atheists are really just trying to disprove the Bible by looking at the Bible. It looks like that they're just trying to say, oh, hey, yeah, this makes no sense whatsoever. Hold on, I'm trying to think. Like, I watched a documentary when I was a kid. I don't know how I still remember this, but I remember they showed the Big Bang, an animation of the Big Bang, like it was supposedly recorded there, obviously. But, you know, they just showed the Earth, and the Earth was nothing but a rock. That's what Big Bang Theory says, is that the Earth was just a rock. What did it say in day 1? Actually, verse 2 of Genesis. The Earth was without form. So already you're getting like a mirror. Like the theory of evolution and the Big Bang is just a mirror of Genesis. You know, you're seeing all these things just kind of happen. All right. First off, you got all these rocks and whatnot, and then you get it's just kind of bland. And then somehow water existed, and was just kind of out of rock and water. Like they just kind of separated. I know I confused myself there for a second, but that's just kind of how they said that the oceans got there and all that. It just kind of sprung up. Like the water just kind of sprung up and existed. Well, that kind of lines up. Like if you're still going on an order of this animation, it still kind of lines up with exactly what Genesis is saying. And then it says that there were plants that somehow they turn into single cellular organisms, a rock and water somehow turn into a single cellular organism, a living thing. Two unliving things turn into a living thing somehow, and then just kind of plants existed. Well, you kind of can't have plants just magically appear, can you? No. I mean, that's what's next in the creation account. And then you have water animals. Just kind of that's the next up thing in evolution, was water animals. Actually, I think plants and water animals might be backwards. I'm not sure in creation or the evolution in atheist worldview. But yeah, they just kind of mirror each other. It goes from the earth itself, plants, water animals, birds, and then crawly thingies like dogs, cats, dinosaurs, dragons, that's the same thing, lions. I'm just trying to think of animals off the top of my head. And then you get humans. So we were the last to evolve according to evolution, and according to the Bible, we were the last to be created. Well, how does that answer Neanderthals? Call me crazy. But I believe that Neanderthals were Bigfoot. I know it sounds a little bit extreme, but hear me out. You see, we get Bigfoot sightings. You can't just make up these things. You can't just be like, oh, hey, there's a hairy person walking around in the woods. and he's taller and more hairier than usual. Oh, it's just a myth. Oh, okay. And then find a bone, or find bone remains of ancient Neanderthal people, and then just completely dismiss that, okay, maybe there's some around today. And there's proof that dinosaurs existed with people, so why not Neanderthals with people? And these Neanderthals were Bigfoot. And that's actually how Bigfoot kind of is. That's the way Bigfoot moves and acts sometimes. If you just kind of listen to some Bigfoot conspiracy theorists, I know it sounds like Looney Town, but it actually does make sense when you kind of consider it for a second, that they act like an ancient type of race set in modern times. And if there's evidence of dinosaurs and people existing at the same time, then why not Neanderthals and people existing at the same time too? And there would still be remnants of the ancient people. So yeah, that's why I believe Bigfoot exists. And there's a skull found of Neanderthals and all these ancient people that I believe could be Bigfoot. Survivor Man proved Bigfoot. So yeah, that could also explain why there's so many different sightings of Bigfoot in multiple different places, and why he's so good at hiding from people is because, as you know, as civilization arose, that species of Neanderthal really had no other choice but to go into hiding, because they don't know what we do, they don't know what we are. In fact, they kind of look at us and see us going to war with each other, like the Indians and Pilgrims. Yeah, I mean, they kind of go at war with each other. They kind of look at that and they're like, huh? And even in Native American accounts, I believe, I can't remember exactly, but they had encounters with a Bigfoot. And I mean, a hairy elephant flies under the radar. There's evidence for that. But a hairy person, nah, doesn't exist. And I mean, really, the description between Neanderthals and Bigfoots are pretty similar. So yeah, that kind of answers evolution. A little bit. I hope it kind of did. And the goal here isn't really to make anybody go from atheist to Christian, but if that's what you have done in this video, if that's what you have took everything into consideration, and you think, okay, well, this kind of makes sense. I was putting my whole life on evolution. This guy just sort of debunked it. I mean, I'm not a genius, but you know, this guy kind of makes sense to me. I hope I do. I kind of don't make sense to myself sometimes. But yeah. And I mean, even if evolution does exist, there's no way things just magically turn into single-cellular organisms to plants or anything like that. There would have to be the existence of a God within the evolution process. There would have to be the existence of a God, especially whenever you see things, kind of the way things form together. It would just kind of make sense, like the way that everything's connected. Like I said, the birds and the bees, everything is just that connected that plants could not go that long without us, without anybody, without any without any other living organism. So there's no way that they existed billions of years and then all of a sudden something evolved, and then another billions of years, and then something evolved, and another billions of years, and all of a sudden somehow a single cellular organism survived that long without any other organism. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, there are some atheists that believe, or not atheists, evolutionists. I'm gonna go off that because there's some atheists that don't believe in evolution. But yeah, there are some evolutionists that believe that things came from a single cellular organism that just kind of magically appeared from a rock. And there's some that believe that during the Big Bang that there was some bacteria, something like that, and it evolved. Yeah, that's kind of my debunking of that. And again, and a lot of people, I kind of knocked the Big Bang at one point, and in the context of me knocking it, what this guy commented just made no sense. But I said that he was saying, oh hey, we atheists say that Christians believe in a fairy tale, but we're not the ones that believe that that an explosion created something. Yeah, because explosions just don't create things; they explode things. I mean, take a bullet, shoot it out of a gun, and there should be a mini universe in that gun. There should be a universe in that gun, but there's not, because that's not what explosions do. And so I said, yeah, so atheists say that Christians believe in a fairy tale, and then all that stuff. And some guy said, well, most Christians believe in the Big Bang. I said, that doesn't prove anything. That doesn't prove that it actually exists. First off, that doesn't make my point any less true or anything like that. So yeah, like, what are you trying to get at there, bud? I get a lot of people that comment like that. They're just like, well, this. And I'm like, that has nothing to do with what I was talking about. So yeah. It really, it makes me laugh sometimes. But yeah, like, just because some Christians say that they believe in this doesn't make it true. And sometimes atheists use the argument of, well, some atheists or some Christians turn into atheists, so therefore Christianity isn't true. Some atheists go to Christianity. Apply that same logic, bud. It's ridiculous. That's why I'll never go off those arguments. I never actually answer these arguments unless it's in a video like this, because it's completely ridiculous, honestly. Some atheist questions and answers just don't make any sense, honestly, when it comes down to things like that, because it just doesn't make any sense. Like, your unbelief is, if you apply that same logic to your unbelief, you should have no reason to not believe. I know that made no sense, but that's just kind of how it is sometimes. Boy, it really is frustrating. But yeah, that's just kind of my answer there, though. Oh yeah, and that Christians are science deniers. No. In fact, nope. Okay. Okay, I had a medal that said future scientist. It was from a class, because I love science. Anyways, guys, that'll be all I wanted to say. I'll see you all in the next video. Hope you guys have a good day. Any atheists would like to, if you would like to comment down below, shoot some comments and rebuttals to me. I'll be fine with that. If you want to make some videos rebutting what I said, go ahead. Just keep in mind, I'm not that, well, like I said, I don't remember that much about evolution, and maybe you guys can inform me and educate me. I'm definitely open-minded about that kind of stuff. Alright, anyways, guys, I'll see you all later, and I mean no hate or harm towards anybody that believes that evolution is, or atheism or evolution is true. This is kind of my thoughts about it. So, like I said, atheists, you are welcome to rebut me.